You know it's a good day when Kathleen Kennedy makes her exit from Star Wars, bringing an end to an era of woke politics. Certainly worthy of celebration. Hallelujah. Unfortunately, in my heightened state of inebriation, I found out that Star Wars has always had a serious case of the woke, right from the very start. Star Wars A New Hope was an instant classic, introducing audiences to the intriguing world that George Lucas had carefully crafted. Because that's what you get when a straight white man is allowed to let his creativity flow free from unnecessary political viewpoints. The special effects were cutting edge and made it feel as if we were really in outer space fighting a malicious empire. It featured unique set pieces and costume design, quickly establishing itself as an instantly recognizable giant in the entertainment industry. There are characters such as Luke, the naive youth who dreamed of something bigger, Han Solo, the lovable, confident scoundrel. But it also features the start of all of Star Wars problems, the insufferable Princess Leia. Traditionally, female characters have always fit into two categories. They're either the damsel who needs rescuing, which is realistic because how in the world is a frail little woman supposed to save herself without the help of a physically and intellectually superior man? Or they're the supportive significant other who needs to make sure the hero has a sandwich ready for when he gets back from major adventures. Princess Leia has the audacity to fit into neither of these categories, and is purposely done in an obvious and insulting way. At the beginning of New Hope, the Empire attacks Princess Leia's ship, and Darth Vader personally disposes of some rebel scum. When he gets to Leia, however, this behavior inexplicably changes. She flat out tells him no several times, lies to his face, and even reprimands him. Now, you think this would be enough for Vader to give her the old chokehold, but instead he basically sends her to her room. Why do the straight white males get killed at the merest disagreement with Vader, but Leia is allowed to live? Space girl magic, I suppose.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
It's a trope that the movie repeats several times. Princess laying down the law orders the two droids to deliver a message to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is yet another example of typical female selfishness. Obi-Wan has been hiding from the Empire for years, but Princess Leia's Chip's family pack wants him to come out of hiding and do the grunt work rather than doing it herself. She must have just had her nails manicured, and it's better to put Kenobi's life on the line than to risk damaging that gorgeous polish. Speaking of Obi-Wan, he's another straight white male presented as an absolute idiot in order to make Princess Lay Me Down look more capable. This is a high-ranking Jedi who survived countless battles and Order 66, but he goes undercover as Ben Kenobi. He's been keeping watch over Luke Skywalker, who's hidden under the name Luke Skywalker.
Not a great plan.
Believe it or not, Vader himself is an absolute moron in this film. He comes across a new member of the Rebel Alliance named Luke Skywalker, but doesn't realize he's related to him until the Emperor informs him of it. I mean, damn man, did you lose your brains to the high ground too? Skywalker isn't exactly a common name in the galaxy. It's not like the guy's name was Luke Smith. As soon as he heard the boy's name, he should have responded like Batfleck.
Why did you say that name?
Anyway, Luke finds part of Princess Lady Buss's message and he's immediately smitten with her. Because that's all women are, single-minded, incompetent horn dogs. But it fails hard, because the actress playing her isn't even that attractive. If you want me to believe a young man will be infatuated with a character, at least cast a heavy hitter like Lana Wood or Adrienne Barbeau. What was I saying again? Oh, right. In the pursuit of the rebels, the Empire incinerates Luke's uncle and aunt, and it's a haunting scene of not only how cruel the Empire can be, but also that Luke's now an orphan. But the movie can't have the straight white male character suffer the greatest loss, so Princess Livin' La Vida Loca gets a traumatic event of her own. The Death Star destroys her entire planet of Alderaan and its 2 billion inhabitants. Damn, we couldn't just have her parents die, or a few siblings. We had to blow up her entire planet to indicate that a woman's suffering is always worse than a man's. That's right, lads. You could have just gotten home from a grueling double shift, followed by being stuck in traffic, coming home to realize the garbage has been put out because your feminist wife, who's all about equality, is somehow still convinced that's the man's job, and then you're still expected to suck it all up and listen to her complain about how heavy her day was, what with being home the whole time and watching the kids, who were probably outside doing their own thing anyway. Ah yes, housewife. It truly is the hardest job in the world. Han and Luke set out to rescue Princess Leia, braving an entire regiment of stormtroopers, risking their very lives. And what's the first thing Princess Girl Boss says?
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
Damn, talk about ungrateful. But that's the way it is these days. Entitlement is the norm for women, and saying thank you to a male, especially a straight white one, is pretty much considered unconstitutional. She spends most of the rescue mission she-laborating, micromanaging, and talking down to the men. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan melts like a pink-haired llama at the mention of proper pronouns, because with an absolute unit like him, who needs Princess Leia head down? You think the writers would want to keep him around for the big fight against the Empire? Instead, they were just like, nah, it'll be fine. Han and Luke eventually decide to join the rebellion, and since Han is the more manly of the two, of course the film spends much of its time on Leia throwing unnecessary shade at the man for simply existing. Later, Luke joins the rebel fleet in attacking the Death Star by making an impossible shot. Absolute legend. At the end, there's a ceremony honoring the rebels, and this is where the feminist overtones rear their ugly mascara-ridden heads again. Princess L'Oreal Cinnabons is standing on stage alongside Luke and Han for... what exactly? She wasn't part of the fleet that destroyed the Death Star. She wasn't even flying a ship like the Millennium Falcon into battle. But she's allowed to bask in victory anyway, just because she's a woman. It's like the WNBA demanding the same salaries as their male counterparts, while not even bringing in a fraction of their revenue. But the movie adds further insult to injury. Unlike Princess Leia bout, Chewie actually was on the battlefield, risking his life against the Empire's forces. But does he get a medal? Nope. Because Chewie is not only as macho as Han Solo, he's also the most hirsute character, making him the living embodiment of manliness. So of course the movie puts him up there and denies him a medal, embarrassing him for all to see. The same way Hollywood has made its mission to ridicule and embarrass all concepts of masculinity, especially when it comes to the straight white males. So remember folks, Star Wars has always been woke. Last call before I close up for the night. I'm not sure who at Disney will be entrusted with the future of Star Wars, but I seriously hope that instead of a pink-haired land whale or emasculated soy boy, the franchise will be put in the hands of someone who's not afraid to inject a healthy dose of testosterone. You know what? I'm just gonna go watch Predator to counter this assault on masculinity. At least in that movie, the one female character is ordered to do what all women should be doing. Ah, Predator. You son of a bitch. Alright, story's over. Get out.